And we are live with the first game of the grand finals featuring Forsaken facing off against the Papis here in a repeat of last week's finals, I believe, actually, as Susano gonna eat the first ban of the game.
Yeah, after seeing what the Papis can do with it on Warchi's hands specifically, you don't want to give them the opportunity to just have the same dominating level of performance. And the bans afterwards followed almost instantly, Ao Kwong, Capri, and Raijin. So going back to the same bans we saw in the very first game, just pretty much in different order. Forsaken going to elect to lock in the Hoi automatically, seeing that pick as a really big opportunity. Now the question is does Forsaken want to go back to the Odin?
I honestly think Moga had an incredibly amazing performance on Odin. Same goes for Jermaine on Huyi. So I could honestly see them going for it again, possibly. But it's going to be a big risk here as the Papis going straight for the Agni and Athena here, forsaking that early game superpower for an Agni's level 5 spike and the poke potential there as Moga locks in Odin straight away.
Yeah, when you see an Agni and an Athena locked in so quickly, that's just such a high opportunity for you to lock in those targets. This is going to spell a lot of trouble for Agni, especially as the game goes on. Oh boy, we are going to have we're going to have a fun show today. Zeus getting locked in, so bringing back that age-old wombo combo of Zeus Odin into this matchup, and I have to say, I'm not feeling confident for the Papis so far this game.
Yeah, Moga played a lights-out Odin the last game, and it deals very well with a couple of their very key members. Luis is a nice response pick to Moga's Odin, but Moga proved patient enough and able to actually walk in and sneak in some very deadly cages, so it's not really going to prevent too much other than some bird bombs, which Moga really didn't have the most impressive bird bombs, but his cages were beyond devastating. So that's the big threat they've got to watch out for on the Papis.
Yeah, the story of Odin is never going to be how devastating his bird bomb is. It's going to be a kill secure. Oh, yeah. It's never going to be the factor of Odin. It's always going to be his low cooldowns and his annoyance and his ability to tank things very effectively. But Ares and Kabrakan banned out by the Papis. They don't want to give that over to their opponents. And Bologna and Rama banned out from Forsaken. So they really want to isolate the opportunity for Forsaken to utilize and abuse the CC immunity of Rama's ultimate. And they also saw what Rama can
was also a monster on Rama.
Yeah, what Rama can do in the hands of the AD carry of Papis. So that's a pretty stable bans on both sides. I think I'm really going to look forward to Papis getting an earlier aggression AD carry, just to give themselves that high leverage as they progress into the mid game. There's not much wiggle room once you get past the 25-minute marker. So they got to use and abuse whatever they can in this first game.
I mean, Anhur is one way to go about that. You've got that situational stun that still brings a ton of damage to the table here. Has some nice penetration on Spiller as well. A lot of slowing power, and Desert Fury is, fairly devastating if you manage to catch every single shot of it. But Hoonbot and Sobek, the response Forsaken, and my God, do they have a terrifying team comp.
This is team fight nightmare for Papis. They're not going to be able to do too well with this team composition if they have to go up against it 5v5. Now, this is the same story we said about Papis last game, so they understand the concept of team fighting. They understand how to prioritize, but that's still a huge and tall order to give over to the Papis. Now, they locked in Soul as well as an Anhur, so this brings to question who's going to be the AD carry, who's going to be the Soul laner, who's going to be the mage. Now, Agni, more than likely going to be the mid laner. That's a bit of a wash, but one of these AD carries have to go into the Soul lane. And up against Odin, I'm not sure who would have the better chance.
From God Trading, it looks like Anhur will be played by Perla, so it's going to be an AD carry Anhur and Soul in the Soul lane on Alex MC. This is what it looks like from the trading here. So, yeah, that will be a Soul solo and an Anhur in the ADC.
So speculating here, it's always a bit of a challenge being the bruiser against an AD carry, just because AD carries now, especially with the golden bow, are able to clear so effectively and still trade with you way more devastatingly.
So he's going to match up against Soul here because Alex MC on Soul.
Oh, Alex MC.
Unless they do a roll swap.
It's still the same thing.
It's just a different. Yeah, that's not the golden bow you're worrying about. It's the stellar burst.
That's right.
It's the stellar burst you're worried about, and it still kind of is the same style you have to worry for here. A lot of heavy poke and a lot of wave clear.
Well, now even especially it's going to be even worse just because you have to question what the start is for Soul. If it's something like a Doom Orb start, then she's going to be clearing really fast and doing a lot of damage. But we'll have to wait and see what she does. Also, going back over to Forsaken, I mean, you yourself said, hey, this is a scary team comp. I mean, what are the weaknesses you feel like Forsaken has with such a high team comp focused team? Or a high team fighting focused team comp?
Papis have a lot of burst damage to lock in a single target here. So if Daredez misses a single pluck on Sobek, that could be an instant 4v5 for Papis. If Batz goes a little bit too aggressive and gets locked out, instant 4v5 in favor of the Papis here. Papis have a lot of lockdown here, and Forsaken are almost required to commit with Sobek here. Now, they do have Moga for the follow-up engage or the sneaky engage, and Batz for a Fear and Evil possible follow-up engage as well. So they have a lot of ways of just dealing with their mistakes here. So that's one of the main reasons I'm terrified of this team here. But with the strength of Papis, being able to like pick somebody out and take them apart, I feel like that is the big chance Papis have to get into this game and the big weakness Forsaken. But at the same time, Papis absolutely cannot afford to fight Forsaken in a straight-up 5v5 unless they have a serious advantage.
I really feel like Papis has a team composition that could deal with this high team fight oriented team comp because
they can deal with it.
Yeah, because of their
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, because of their pick style with the Awilix as well as a couple of other factors. But we'll have to wait and see. You guys let us know who you think is going to win over in the chat section. We'll get right into the action as soon as these guys are loaded up and ready to go. We'll be right back.
And we are live with the action in Game 1 of Forsaken facing off against the Papis here in the grand final, the second week of the European Challengers Cup here. As now, Shadow Boy, we're seeing things move into action here. It is confirmed that Alex MC will be rocking Soul in the solo. So how do you feel this matchup's going to go? What do you feel Moga's going to have to do to win this matchup if he wants to win it? Or can he afford to just kind of go even and survive?
It's really hard to say because I've never seen Soul with just the Warlock Sash start in the Soul lane, honestly. I've always seen Soul go some kind of aggressive start. This makes sense because if Bird Bomb lands onto Soul one too many times in any given moment, that could be a dead Soul. However, the Odin Ring of Spears is really the only tool necessary to ensure some kind of kill onto Soul. She has no escapability, and the one movement ability that makes her immune for a small duration isn't fast enough to prevent Odin from killing her, but also can be waited out as soon as she uses it. So a lot of wiggle room for Odin to find kill opportunity, and in combination with the jungler Batz, they can really bully out the Soul lane. I'm really interested to see how they progress through these early stages of the game and interacting with this Soul pickup. There might be something I'm missing here.
I think Alex MC actually might go for a somewhat tankier build, so I'm going for an Aphrodite. Not super tanky compared to Aphrodite, but I think he's going to go a little bit heavier than we see most Souls go. He already is starting with that. That's a bit bad there for him. But Warchi still wants to fight. He actually gets the damage. Warchi gets first blood again, and he survives with nothing. What a fight there as Papis kicking off to a huge start once again, and Warchi hyper-aggressive in the mid lane once again.
Oh, it was so unfortunate because I was saying Warchi because he missed his Path of Flames on most of the minions. So there was like 2 or 3 melee minions just chilling out, ready to beat up on Warchi if he makes too aggressive of a move. But it was actually Zeus who made too aggressive of a move, hadn't cleared out the archers just yet, and so he ended up paying for it with his life. And Zeus got the purple pot. So now that's a huge deficit in the middle lane. Warchi already proving that he is not only a dominant assassin laner, but he still has his prowess as a mage as well.
So I actually wanted to ask this question before we went into the game, but saying first of all, it feels a bit redundant. Do you think we're going to see that aggressive playstyle from Warchi that we saw in the Assassin? I mean, with what we saw already, we're going to see more of it. Warchi going for more, and the second kill of the game goes his way. I guess that answers the question.
Yep, I think you found your answer. But that was double burn proc. One from the Path of Flames, and then one from the passive of Agni. Way too much consistent damage for poor little Batz to be able to get out. Now you're looking at level 5 Warchi dealing with a Zeus who can barely clear on his own, especially since he relies on that purple pot to just keep up. He's going to have to deal with sporadic poke damage from Warchi at such a consistent, at a very consistent rate. I don't think he's going to be able to keep up as we move forward in this game.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because a Zeus that gets behind tends to stay behind. He's a very, very high damage god. There's more action coming here. Can he survive? Perilla gonna escape on nothing right there, and Papis coming close to the edge, but still surviving in the duo lane.
And the big factor right now, just as last game, is Warchi. Such a strong...
As it gets a third kill.
Yeah,
I think that actually describes what's going on right now.
So Warchi with the purple pot has made far more use out of it than we expected. Now getting 2 kills on the mid laner, or excuse me, 2 kills on the jungler, 1 kill on the mid laner, evenly distributing out some gold between him and his jungler. They're just going to keep abusing this and start to make rotations across the map. You might see game 1 end very quickly depending on how Warchi approaches these next few minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be dependent on how this one goes here, and he's hit a massive power spike. Actually, he stepped way beyond that power spike. He is rocketing off into space right now, and the ball is in Forsaken's court here, but I don't quite think they can handle this one as the ball is currently a time bomb ready to explode.
So over in the solo lane, Alex MC hasn't necessarily fallen behind. He's at 2,900 versus the Odin, who actually is at 2,800, so he's actually a little bit ahead. Part of that is probably because of the Fire Giant creeps, which I believe actually went in favor of Alex MC, so that's a good move on him. But Mugao able to go ahead of his opponent as he pushes the wave into the tower. More than likely, Dale's gonna have to clear this by himself.
More than likely, and unfortunately, he should be fine though. So Dalo will get that XP, we'll get that gold, and now we're gonna see both MC and Dalo move towards getting the king himself. So all in all, Papis now looking to get some kind of advantage here. Warchi backing up a bit here as Tins has stayed fairly safe since these first 3 kills here. Still in a massive deficit here, and a big problem with Zeus is a Zeus that gets behind tends to stay behind. So what can Forsaken do to really pull Tins out of this difficult position?
Pin your ears and hope to get to minute 50.
All right, so what else can they do other than hope and pray?
Your mid laner is really far behind, and your solo laner has to farm up.
So unfortunately, hope and pray.
Well, the thing is that you can rotate your Odin earlier to try and get some sick Zeus Odin combo, or you can utilize your Hun bots and hope for a sick Hun bots Zeus combo. But it's so difficult. I mean, beads on every character on the side of Papis, and on top of that, they're pretty safe characters. And with the shell, even on top of all that, and the Athena ultimate, I mean, that's a tall order. You need multiple layers of these team fighting variables. They're going to aggress onto the Zeus again. Already popped the beam. There's the ultimate. There's the pluck. There's a kill. There's just not too much you can do. His Zeus ultimate was used just to try and survive.
And I mean, that's kind of carries into the whole, once the Zeus gets behind, he stays behind, and unfortunately, yeah, I guess they really are at that hope and pray for the 50-minute mark point, as Papis currently completely devastating the mid lane right here. As long as the other lane's gonna hold out just fine, it could be a done deal. But Forsaken, they can still hold out here. They can still make something happen here. But where on the map could that be? Question.
They try to make it happen over on Alex MC to make a big play. Members of Forsaken went for a gank, and they just didn't get anything. This Warlock Sash paying dividends over to Alex MC. He hasn't been put under too much pressure, which is very fortunate for him. In fact, they've got to turn a lot of their attention onto trying to get Zeus back into the game. He's sitting now at 3,300 gold, lowest of the entire game.
Yeah, so I guess it just looks like, unfortunately for them, their main win condition is just so horribly battered right now that it's a far-fetched dream right now, I guess. But when we've seen stranger things happen here, as now Papis holding on to this game, see a 1.3 thousand gold and a 1.2 thousand XP differential here at 6 minutes in. As Athena ulting towards the duel right here, we can see a kill breakdown here as Perilla, so incredibly low, leaps over the top of the Sunbreaker. Daredevil will get a revenge go right there, so a little bit of light coming out in the duel lane.
You can always tell when an AD carry gets bored. He just went for an aggressive play onto this Hoi. Rightfully so. Well, he didn't have a lot of mana, so he knew that he could outbox him in the long run. But just completely ignored the potential of the support coming in or anything like that, despite having the, I guess, obvious advantage over his opponent. So Got a little bored there, went for the aggressive pillar impale attempt, missed it, and then just kept on pushing his advantage, and then eventually found himself on the bad end of a lurking in the waters.
Well, that is a nice turn of events for Forsaken here, as they have put themselves on the kill board now. Not only about 1,000 gold down, but still in a devastating position here. Daredez will try to pull on a Dalo right there, but Dalo not quite going to get tagged by that one just yet here, as we'll see buffs for respawning here. Mogal playing incredibly aggressive right now. He has been spotted, and Daredez joining him as well. Gonna look to aggress onto the speed buff, possibly.
He needs to make some big plays. I mean, he's one of the very, very few win conditions they have. If he can get ahead, or if he can get something going for his team, he has the tankiness, he has a lot of the factors needed to make a big play. However, it's still going to be difficult, and they still have to make some more things happen. They're going to possibly be able to take out Odin. Nope.
Fear No Evil was good.
By the skin of his teeth, and that is going to be an Odin walking out darn near freely.
Yeah, saved by Fear No Evil right there. A great pickup there coming out of Forsaken here. Slight save, keeping an eye out for his teammates there, and using his ultimate defensively. And a great call right there. As Forsaken know they can hold on to this game, know they have to hold out here, and I mean, we can definitely see that as a possibility from them here. So if they can keep up a trend like that.
Yeah,
but
if they can keep
he's still 3 levels down, is the problem.
Yeah. So, Tin's taking nearly a third of his health just in one Agni bomb. Pluck attempt predicted by Warchi as he starts to turn back a little bit. Meanwhile, in the duel lane, a kill goes the way of David Arnaez as 3 members of Papis pull together to try on that one.
And unfortunately, Jermaine going to be the one that falls as well. And now it looks like Mogal and Daredez are the last 2 who can really make that much of a bright light here, as Papis are getting ahead on some of their other carries now as well. Buff secured aside from their blue buff here, but able to secure most of their jungle now. As we're going to see the Gold Fury probably start getting looked at here in the next 5 or so minutes, I'd say.
Credit to Hunbot, still keeping relevant to his opposing jungler, actually ahead in terms of experience. He's doing a good job of making sure that he doesn't fall too far behind. If he did, this would be a complete loss, no matter how you look at it. But because he's still relevant in this game, he should be able to make a couple of good engagements across the map. Maybe get a pick or 2. They could really utilize a lot of these ultimates to get the cheeky Gold Furies. I know I said that they had to wait to the late game, but there's small things that they can do across the map to possibly squeeze back into a contesting point of this game. With such high AoE ultimates like Sunbreaker, like the Fear No Evil, and like the Lightning Storm, you can make a big play on the Gold Fury.
I mean, you actually said it in the last game. When we say wait for the late game, we don't just mean sit in base and wait until you get to that late game point. No, we mean look for your opportunities there. Look for these small picks. Look for these cheeky situations here. Look to sneak these objectives wherever you can, or even try to force the issue with some time. So Forsaken is a team that can pull that off here, as we've been doing right now. They notice the lack of vision on one side, but there is a big problem. You don't seem to spot it the one word here. They're gonna try to force it, but Forsaken will get it with the sheer damage right there. And Tin gets a kill to his name right there. So Forsaken doing exactly what they need to do here and will even the odds in this game.
Oh man, I think if I was Athena, I would just let that one go. I understand why she did it, but with no one backing you up, that was a questionable choice. But giving over the Gold Fury and the kill literally brought Forsaken within 100 gold of their opponents, if not actually ahead. Yes, now actually slightly ahead. So it's tied up, and they might get shut down gold onto Warchi, but a very heads up dash is going to save him. Meanwhile, over in the dual lane, poor Hou Yi is stuck between a rock and a hard place. However, he is going to get a kill on Dalo, who's stuck under tower a little bit too long, eating up all of the tower shots and not getting anything else out of it. But they might be able to get a couple of kills on the side of Forsaken. Nope, not going to be fast enough.
So far, props to Forsaken for actually starting to get some of their lesser gold or lesser experienced members a little bit of extra food to get back in the game here. We saw Tins get a kill here. Will get stunned out though and possibly burst out again, but Mogal was waiting for the save here, but Warchi, he still had the range, he still had the power, and he's gonna finish off the waiting Tins right there. So Tin still has to watch out for the threat of complete annihilation from Warchi.
Oh man, I understood what they were going for with the Odin play, but Warchi, credit to him, going ahead, raining down some damage and realizing, hey, I can kill you first before you all even have the chance to kill me. Papis holding their advantage ever so slightly, especially onto the Agni, who is now 2 levels above Zeus. Not as high as it was, I believe, a couple of moments ago. So Zeus doing a good job of staying well.
Has been fighting his way back in the game with the Gold Fury and that kill that he got. He managed to claw back just a little bit. He's still in a rough spot, as we saw a few moments ago, but he's in a better position now than he was before, and he's capable of holding on to the game and controlling his own fate a little bit better now. He's still at the mercy of Papis deciding to dive him, but luckily Forsaken have been, well, actually smartly so, they've been grouped around mid lane in case that happens. That's somebody always at least within a few feet from mid lane.
Really quiet over on the jungle side. Both Batz and Awilix haven't really necessarily do too much. Awilix has 2 kills and 3 assists, so she's been a bit more of a participant than Batz, who only has 2 deaths. Meanwhile, over in the dual lane, again, they're really trying to put the grind over to this hi-rez, who might actually survive, gets the kill on Abrilla, as he was not able to find the auto attacks necessary to prevent him from dying.
So here's something cool right now. Jermaine actually holds a gold lead over Perilla, and not really enough of an experience lead if there is one, but he's slowly but surely starting to actually get ahead of his counterpart here, and that could start to be a problem for the Papis here. Jermaine, despite the focus he's getting, is doing incredibly well right now.
Well, there's a couple of factors for that. First of all, is the Gold Fury that was achieved by Forsaken. Second of all, is the first kill of the dual lane went in favor, I believe, of Perilla, if I'm correct, or excuse me, Jermaine. When Perilla got really bored, went for the aggressive play, and got punished extremely hard, that set him behind just ever so slightly enough to where a lot of these trades and a lot of these gold exchanges are going in favor of the hi-rez.
And that's just going to continue to maybe build up for him here. And I want to see if he's able to start pushing that advantage a little bit more. He has the golden bow, he has the Ichabo, and now he's looking to finish off that light blade into something else here. Where do you think this build's going to go from here in his current position here, and considering his team?
I'm not exactly sure just yet, but it looks like Odin. Nope. Actually, Odin is going to be forced to use the cave to disengage.
Oh, Jermaine.
Yeah,
picked off. It looks like an Awilix did catch him as he attempted to dive bomb away. So a quick lockdown there. Awilix in position here, and a 3-man rotation will take him down, unfortunately. But Papis now grouped up with nothing really to take here.
Oh, that's going to be more than likely a dead Anhur. Batz is here. Athena ultimate used, but it's probably not going to do enough to save him, as there was just too much damage on its way. CC immune at that. Lurking in the waters, there's no way you can taunt anyone out of that. Athena going in questionably, no one to back her up, so I'm not sure what exactly she was looking to accomplish there. Now, she's probably dead, forced to use the shell to try and mitigate some of this damage that she was achieving. Warchi finds the kill in the middle on a rampage, and she's actually able to get over into safety under the tower. A lot of weird, aggressive Athena plays.
They've been a little bit odd here and there, and the same thing goes for the Anhur. He's gotten a little bit over-aggressive, but also in a couple of awkward spots here, and right now the Papis are definitely suffering for it here. Warchi able to just dash away from this fight. He's still not Moga before. It's going to be safe and sound. I don't believe he does have the cage right now, so that was a great catch there. But Dalo now caught out as well. Moga completely caging away, and Dalo going to get obliterated by fly to safety here. Now looking for the re-engage here. Moga slows out MC. Sanctuary will be popped by Alex MC here. And now, just in time for the Gold Fury too, Forsaken can start trending towards it and look up a little bit of vision around it before the fight breaks out.
Yeah, it looks like Papis want to counter the vision here as soon as possible to make sure that they have an idea of when the members of Forsaken are going to go for another cheeky Gold Fury play. All they did last time was dump all the AoE they could onto it to secure it. And that's what they're going to look to do again. A lot of ultimates available still. Oh, but hold on. They might just go ahead and get this nice and clean, as they've already secured a kill on the Perilla. And now Batz is possibly going to set up another guaranteed kill on David Arnaiz. It's all around not a good time for the members of Papis. The only person who's consistently dominating his opposing lane is Warchi, and he's going to have to be the hero that they need if they want to defend this Gold Fury.
Here's the problem, though. Jermaine and Fly to Safety were consistently the big factors in the game where we saw Forsaken win earlier this Challenger's Cup here. Jermaine is a monster on who he is, we're seeing here. Despite being down when it comes to kills, he's holding up his head quite nicely here. Forsaken will secure the Gold Fury and find Dalo. Jermaine finds his 4th kill here and is now in an incredible spot here and fly to safety. We've seen his Fear No Evils. They've been absolutely on point, whether they've saved a life, secured a kill, or secured a team fight for himself. Forsaken has been making plays with these 2 members of their team here. Even Tins, who's down quite a bit, is just doing his job of farming up, trying to get to the late game, and just letting his team carry him through this rough spot. He got picked on, that happens, and he's just not letting himself do that much here. But he might die again here as Warchi does see the shot, and that's going to be another dead Tins.
Unfortunately, he's still extremely far behind Warchi, but at this point, Warchi's not adding that much to his pocket. He's not adding that much XP either.
He's not really worth much either.
Bullying the Zeus, which is good. It's keeping him down as long as possible, but they need to transition this over into other lanes potentially just to start to make a play happen, especially over in this dual lane, which apparently is still thriving. I mean, the amount of times that you've watched Jermaine die, you'd be surprised how strongly he comes back. I mean, the guy's got what? 4 deaths? Yeah, he's got 4 deaths, but 4 kills to match it. Versus Anhur, who's only got 2 kills.
He's been pretty consistently able to get something back after every death here, or at least get something back in a later play here, as the ring will trap 4 members, but Papis have managed to pick off Moga right there. He's dead for another 40 or so seconds. We're getting towards the time where these death timers start to get really drastic, and Papis decides to go straight for a throat here. They're going for the push here. Dardes in a little bit of an awkward spot here, fly to safety over the top, looking for Warchi. Fear No Evil perfectly timed right there. Purification will be used to get Warchi to safety. Here's now Dardes getting aggressed on by the squad. Tins looking for a way in, will drop the shield and start firing off a few lightning bolts. Detonates for quite a bit of damage. Dardes tosses back Alex MC, but the meteors, the rate of fire dealing so much right there. Alex MC gonna be kept safe by a quick pillar from Perla right there. So Papis get a quick tower, but Forsaken are able to stall the push out and keep everybody save Moga, who died earlier, alive.
I always have respect for a mid laner that realizes they have safe damage potential. They need to use it to try and disengage for their team. Warchi stayed behind even at 10% health to make sure that he could throw out whatever he could to ensure his team's survival. And because of that, 2 people were saved. One time from his stun and one time just from avoiding off rain of fire. Good job by him ensuring his team doesn't give up too much and possibly lose the tower, because at the end of the day, Papis still hold objective control in terms of towers. They still have a lot of map control.
And that's going to be the one thing Forsaken has to overcome. Well, an additional thing Forsaken has to overcome moving forward. They have a slight lead, but now they're going to start transitioning it back and picking up some of these towers here, as not only will it give them extra map control, it'll push their lead further and further ahead here. They've got access to 3 very, very exposed outer towers here, and I want to try to take advantage of that.
Oh, very clean, easy kill on a Jermaine. Didn't have beads for the Awilix yoink, so unfortunately he's going to be taken out yet again. Perilla has a lot in favor of him in terms of aid from the jungle. Not a lot of times have we seen Humbots make his way over into the right side of the map, or excuse me, the left side of the map, to ensure that this Anhur gets dealt with. So really got a feel for the Hoi on this one.
Really able to feel him out there and take him down at a pretty consistent rate here, but at the same time, Jermaine still holds a very, very slight lead right now, so he's not too phased by this just yet, I'd imagine here. Is now Papis grouped around, looking to try to push their tower pressure a bit further here. They want to get back in control of this game here. Something very slight, and with Goldtree respawning in the next minute or so, they've got a good chance of pulling their way back ahead.
Speaking of good AD carry, Soul been doing a pretty dang good job. Just stole the speed buff away from their opponents, and on top of that, she was able to take one of the first towers of the game. She has been a huge factor for them consistently staying ahead. Actually, highest farm in the game. Actually, no, wait, under the Humbots by a couple of 100 gold, but she has definitely been a strong runner-up. Probably going to be the big factor as we move later and later into the game. Going to be one of the few people who can contest the damage that Hoi is bringing out, as Anhur doesn't bring the same kind of oomph as a Hoi.
And I want to see if they're able to actually abuse the fact that a lot of Soul's damage will come through that Pope Stellar Burst here, setting up those big combos with their ultimate there for the engages. So I want to see if Papis can take advantage of that, since they are very reliant on picks, on poke, on all kinds of ways to get these advantages before they look for a full-on 5v5 with Forsaken. And honestly, I think this game will go to a dead even late game with the rate it's going right now.
Sobek.
Ooh, Darda. Dart is in the wrong neighborhood right now. Will manage to dash away here, but David Arnett is looking for more. We will see Tins now in the wrong place, wrong time. He's got no way out of either. He's going to go for the Sanctuary. They're knocking him around, and we will see Alex MC take him down. Fear no evil, tearing everyone apart here. Warchi about to get shut down as Jermaine will pick it up there. Now David Arnett needs to be on the run here. Fly to safety. Shredding in from the backside. Will pick him up. David Arnett falls to Moga right there as Alex MC doing what he can, but on the other side of the fight, we're going to see so much coming out from Carrillo right there. Now Dart alone in the dark, locked down by Dalo. A double for Dalo, looking for more. He's pushing on forward. Can he try to find his way back in this fight here? We see flight of safety so low. Can he leave from the side? No, he cannot. Now he's looking for Moga. Moga almost finds Dalo, but Dalo gets onto Suku right there and gets out just in time. Now he just needs one more feather step. Can they get this fight going? Turns around, knocks up Hoonba. Feather steps over to dodge the damage, but Odin is waiting, and Alex MC gets the kill here. Dalo managed to dodge away from the leap from Mogao, and now Mogao, last man standing, not going to get caught out by that Stellar Burst, and now he will be safe and sound. But what a bloodbath. Barely going in favor of the Papis, but going their way nonetheless.
Oh, man. That impact was just so, like, defiant. You could feel the frustration of that on her. It's like, will you please hold still? And he just stuck him there. That was nice. But yeah, Soul, again, being that dominating factor, they want to go for the cheeky Go Fury play. Aren't going to be able to get it just yet. There's the beads used by the Zeus as he's trying to find something onto this Soul, but that's an ultimate coming out from Awilix. Should set up the kill. Maybe not. In fact, he's going to be able to get out just fine. And unfortunately for the members of Papis, they invested so much and got so little out of that. They only got one kill so far, and it's one person dead on their side. Looks like all around it's 2-for-1 support for AD carry and an Odin. Not bad at the end of the day when Papis look to be on the losing end of that exchange so heavily. You might still be, depending on if this Awilix can get out or not. Nope, she's just gonna go right for the. She's gonna go right for the throat and sacrifice her life, realizing that she was able to get the Zeus. I don't know how much that was worth, but it sent a message.
Going down, you might as well take somebody off the map there. It would have been near impossible to actually see Dalo get out of there, so I definitely agree with that decision. Go for something, don't just give up and like just die for nothing right there. So all in all, I think it ended up in favor of the Papis, especially if they get this gold fairy right here. There's only 2 members of Forsaken alive right now, and neither of them are able to really contribute anything at all. So at the end of the day, that final kill was definitely worth it now.
Yeah, I mean, the death timer paid itself off more so than anything else. So didn't get a lot of gold or experience out of the initial kill, but they got a gold fury out of it, putting them up 3K on their opponents. Definitely worth something. Now, Agni's reaching that point where he's a little bit destructive. He spent a while working on this Rod of Tahuti and now working on a little bit of penetration. Once he gets that finished off, you can expect to see a lot more damage coming out of him. Meanwhile, Zeus is only getting about the halfway point of his build. He's got the Warlock Sash, he's got the Book of Thoth, but nothing really solidified just yet in terms of damage. Now he's working on some penetration of his own, so still working on those stacks.
And that's the big problem for Forsaken right now. We saw in that last fight, Zeus just wasn't really able to bring enough to the table right there. Meanwhile, Papis have their triple threat online pretty much. So Forsaken, while they have a lot of nice resources to bring these team fights here, Hoonbot's doing amazing work here, and Jermaine nearly salvaging that fight quite handily. It's just not enough compared to the three-headed threat coming out of the Papis here, especially when you throw Dalo into the mix as well.
So taking a look at Dalo's build for the Alex MC's build for just wondering what does a soul lane soul look like. It looks like Warlock Sash, Pen Boots, Obsidian Shard, Poly, and a Rod of Tahuti. He's definitely a big factor alongside Agni. A lot of magic damage coming out, and you can already see it. Odin went for the Genji's guard as well as the Mantle of Discord just to try and survive through some of that magic damage.
They got Warchi to start the fight here, but Warchi can use an immunity. Tin will pick up the kill. Sorry, Shadow Boy, but there's action on the map here as Forsaken. They spotted the opportunity and they took it in hand right there. Papis now on a complete retreat. They look to regroup under their tier 1 tower right here. And it might be enough to start a little bit of a fight here, but it's going to be a dangerous one for Forsaken. Look to dive here. They're 5 strong, 5 health, and 5 ready to fire right here. This could be the first tower of the game, and they need something like that right now. As Forsaken get a pick and turn it into an objective.
All right, well, now they're a little confused as to what to do next, so they just end up backing off, looking for some jungle camp, and going nowhere really with that, but it looks like now the aggressors of the Papis as the Odin ring comes out and all the AoE circles follow, and they're looking for some kind of kill in response on the side of the Papis. Jermaine finds a kill under David Arnaz, as well as Dalo flies into safety, able to secure that kill, and all the members of Forsaken are feeling mighty powerful as they push forward and take out this tier 2 tower.
That didn't look like indecision in the end there. That looked like a complete bait. They pulled Papis back into what appeared to be a trap. They showed a lot of what appeared to be indecisiveness, but instead, it was just letting them right into a massive ring, a massive circle of destruction right there. And Papis got absolutely obliterated in that fight there. Forsaken turned it into a complete disaster zone. It was actually wonderful to watch right there.
It was really unfortunate because they didn't respect the fact that they didn't have their main AoE damage dealer. Yes, the Alex MC is super fed. He's super strong right now, but he doesn't bring the same impact as like 3 Rain of Fires with the Noxious Fume. It's so difficult. They're going to go for the cheeky Fire Giant play, realizing that their opponents are a little weaker and they want to try and make a big play off of it. They got it down to about 50% health, so they recognize the opportunities that they have to go for big objectives like that, and Forsaken's going to have to be very aware of that.
At the same time, this really will open Forsaken's eyes to the fact that, hey, it's late game. We're nearing that late game. Papis can definitely burst this down. We need to play the vision game heavily around it. We need to be prepared for a moment's notice, and we need to be ready. They caught it that time without much preparation, but next time, it could be a whole nother story here, and Forsaken definitely start planning for that. They started to pull themselves back into the game inch by inch, and they've got an amazing shot at it now as we near this late game. They've just got to keep it up.
Unfortunately, the big weak side on the side of Papis is the Anhur. You take a look at the damage numbers, 18k on Ho-Yi. Meanwhile, Anhur's sitting third to bottom, 10k even below the Sobek, the guy with the Desert Fury, the guy who's supposed to be known as the early game champion AD carry among champions. And he's just not able to actually compete with this Ho-Yi right now, really not bringing anything to the table. It's hurting the Papis, and they need him to start performing just that slight bit better. He's going to get flung into the Ho-Yi. They're looking to try and aggress on the Anhur as the start for Forsaken. Athena ultimate used for protection, but they're on the hind end.
I gotta say, Jermaine has been absolutely manhandling these team fights, especially when Perilla tries to get into them here. He's firing off so many incredible Sunbreakers, following up on his team, hitting the bounces that matter on the proper target, and his damage is showing it as well on the chart. So, really, yeah, he does need to step up here, especially compared to Jermaine, who has absolutely floored the gas pedal once they hit the team fighting stage. Now, Moga sees his chance, the cage locks him down. That's going to be so much damage, as now Warchi going to get obliterated inside. Gyarados is the one to secure that kill, as now he's going in deeper. Our David Arnaz is incredibly low, so the health bars are critical across the board for the Papis. This could be a complete disaster as Jermaine wipes him out, and now one more standing on the retreat here. David Arnaz about to fall. Moga looking for his in, but he's already forced him away, and now the Fire Giant looks to be called. They smell their chance. They know they can do it here in Forsaken. Inch by inch, claw by claw, and with every drop of blood, they seem to have pulled this game back from the abyss, and they can do it. Dalo taking a shot here. Will he go for the attack? Forsaken will secure the Fire Giant, and Dalo going to die, unfortunately, there. As now Forsaken looks to be in complete control of the action here. Papis in a rough patch now, and things just went nightmarish for them.
All the gold advantage and all of the experience lead has dissipated and is now completely in favor of Forsaken, who are taking their time and taking objectives after they got the Fire Giant. Very sound and calm play style. They realized that a lot of the focus went on Zeus. He's 3-7. There's nothing more to be done about it. And even after the AD carry was focused down, the confidence level and the sheer just dominance that Ho-Yi has brought in this game shows how much they trust their Ho-Yi to get back on his own. He's brought himself up to a good point. Keep in mind, him and Zeus share the same amount of deaths, but the story of which character has given the most impact is completely night and day. I mean, Ho-Yi is the sole factor for a lot of Papis not being able to do what it is they need to do to win this game.
And at the same time, these plays by Jermaine have opened up the door for the rest of Forsaken to barrel on through. Tins, who was probably the most bullied member in this game, now sits third highest in damage, very, very close to edging out, well, Warchi right now. And it looks like he can actually start taking control of the game. And I have to say, Fly to Safety has done nothing but impress this game. Sitting fourth on damage done as well, and has been one of the key factors in this team fights all in all. Forsaken has really shown up in these mid-late game phases when it comes to team fighting right there as a team, and that is what matters in this end stage of Challengers Cup, how well you fight as a team. And Forsaken, despite being punished in the early game, are going to raise hell in this late game, it seems.
You take a look over the 80 key, the left side of the map's tower, just pristine condition, not even really phased. At this point, Warchi has to do more than just rain down some good fire. He has to set up such a monstrous kill, because at this point, I don't see any kind of real team fight potential out of the Papis. They don't have a team comp for that. They don't have the team comp that just says, okay, we are going to just blow you up in a team fight in the same way that Forsaken has. So honestly, I think the one way that they're going to come back into this game is taking out both Zeus and Hou-Yi at the right time. After that, they may be able to do something with just Odin, Sobek, and Batz on the map. But outside of that, I don't see any way they can win.
It's exactly what we talked about early on in the game. If it got to this late game point, the Papis would need to get picks. They cannot, and I mean absolutely cannot straight up fight Forsaken. They need a pick. They need some heavy advantage from poke. And with Fire Giant on Forsaken right now, getting the advantage through poke is all but impossible. They need to get a pick. They need to find their death ball play. And they need to get heavy vision. The problem is, unfortunately, Forsaken are staying in a group right now. They know their strength is a death ball. They know that the team fight kings in this game, and they're not giving the Papis a chance to play their game. And that's exactly why they're pulling ahead right now.
Oh, but the team fight is about to break out. Odin Ring of Spears comes out. They trapped in a couple of the priority targets. Sanctuary is going to be used, but that's not going to save Warchi from dying. He's going to be taken out almost instantly. Now they turn their attention over to the Awilix, forced to use the beast to try and escape. She's not going to be able to do so. Athena ultimate is used to try and save. Oh, no, she actually is going to hold on to it. Didn't feel a need to use it just yet. One Phoenix already taken out, working on the second one. You can already see that Jermaine is taking it down quite decisively, and the fight is going completely sour for the members of Forsaken as they are all forced to back yet again. Jermaine finding another killing spree. Oh, but can Perla get out? Nope. Pluck into another kill for Jermaine. Knock up. That's going to be another kill. Is it going to go over to Jermaine? No, it's going to go over to no, triple kill.
Going for the Quadra. He got the Quadra, and that's going to be the end. He got the Quadra and ends the game. Shadow Boy. This is the comeback we've been waiting to see all day, and it seems like Forsaken pull it off in game one of the grand final.
Oh man, it's just so unbelievable how hard the Papis had control of the early game. It was so incredibly in their favor. The first blood went over to Agni. They took out Zeus. They were able to bully him again and again and again. They got a couple of kills on Batz on top of all that. But just having to constantly put your attention over to the dual lane and still not get results out of that effort is so draining on your resources that it ended up harming them as they got later on in the stages of the game.
And it gave Jermaine enough resources he needed to carry. Same goes for Fly to Safety. He got shut out very early on, but he didn't let it stop him. He became a power farming machine. He saved the life of the soul laner and just let Mogao do his job. Mogao is another one of those silent heroes of this game. His rings were on point once again. Going into the next game, I think we might have to see an Odin ban targeted towards Mogao, in all honesty. Or even a Hou-Yi ban targeted towards Jermaine, as that man was a complete monster this game.
I think going into game two, the only thing I would really expect out of the members of Papis is to change their approach to the dual lane. I don't know how well Perilla felt on Anhur, but I didn't feel like I was watching, a very confident
night and day between his play on Rom and his play on Anhur.
Yeah, it felt like he was not as comfortable or confident on Anhur as he was on Rom. Now, if that's just this game in particular, or maybe just it was a bad game for him, who knows? But hopefully he comes into the next game feeling a lot more confident.
And that's the best part of this. This is a best of three series, so we get to see a chance for adaptation from these teams here. And I am with you. I remember doing this one, Shadow Boy. Will we see if this is just a bad game? Things went bad for Perilla and he couldn't really recover, or is there something else that was an issue for him right here? And we'll get to find out going into this next game here, as we should have it ready to go. We'll be right back as we get prepped and ready for game two of the grand finals. Don't go into this. This is the Challengers Cup brought to you by Tier Monster and hi-rez Studios. We'll be right back.